Retail Week is brought to you by Nutrisphere N, Nitrogen Fertilizer Manager, protecting your nitrogen from all three forms of loss. Well, again, welcome to another edition of Crop Life Retail Week. It's Paul Schrimpf, again joined by Matthew Grassi. Our friend Eric Svilagoy is out somewhere in Vegas. Hopefully what happens in Vegas. Yeah, what happens in Vegas may or may not stay in Vegas. We'll see what happens when he comes back. But he's at the Agribusiness Global Trade Summit this week, talking to folks from around the world about crop protection, about some of the precision ag issues that we're dealing with, and certainly we have a lot more domestic attendance from our typical Crop Life audience. So it'll be interesting to see what their interest is in the global crop protection markets, and with all the consolidation going on, I know there's interest in looking for partners outside of the traditional realm of the U.S. market. So we'll see what might come from that. But we had a few things in mind to talk about, but then of course this granular DuPont issue kind of arose out of nowhere, and it was the total was that $300 million.
That's what we're hearing from Kip Tom tweeted that out, so that wasn't official in the release, but that's what we're hearing, $300 million.
Okay, so it's not quite the $1 billion acquisition that once climate came out. I think that was the drive of a lot of companies was to look to get that big acquisition, but certainly a significant one. It'll be interesting to see how that assimilates first through the DuPont channels, and then when DuPont and Dow get together at some point here in the next, I guess August 31st is the target date now. How that will assimilate into those companies or the companies that emerge from that. But congratulations to those folks, and it'll be interesting to see how these things come together. We've got Granular, which is a little more of kind of a grower approach to technology, going in with again, Encirca is also as well, and so you can kind of see the things fitting together, but I guess to be seen.
Yeah. Main takeaway was they announced in the release that Sid Gorham, the CEO of Granular, will be still heading up Granular, as well as taking over responsibilities of digital farming under DuPont, as well as the Encirca platform, which that's probably a pretty big job. So Sid, we wish you luck and hope this goes well.
Yes, we see him at a lot of shows, so good luck to you, Sid. More to come after the break.
Over the 9+ years, they've done over 400 trials, side-by-side replicated trials, and we've shown that 90% of the time we've had a positive yield response with Nutrisphere. So 90% of the time a crop producer out of those 400+ trials could expect a positive response. That positive response is average 10 bushel an acre across all 400+ trials.
A couple of other tidbits of news. We saw that J.R. Simplot is going to be working with AMVAC on an AMVAC SimPass system. We've been looking at this SimPass system for probably a year and a half. We've been introduced to it and talked to some of the folks at AMVAC. It's an interesting way to apply technology to really on the ground sorts of needs. Being able to variable rate multiple kinds of products, fertilizer, crop protection, possibly things like micronutrients and so forth. Maybe I'm not sure if it includes biologicals or not, but being able to apply multiple kinds of products to different areas of the field depending on need. J.R. Simplot's been very interested in that, and AMVAC's been working very carefully on this. And again, taking the technology and making it actually work on the ground is a pretty interesting approach, and something to be watching into the future. And I guess Secretary Perdue weighed in on the Dicamba issue, and I know it's hot. You've been talking to folks, and we've all kind of been monitoring this, and as we've been saying, it's going to take a careful review of what's happened this year, and going into next year, how that's going to change the approaches. So we're watching those things, and I know you're going to be traveling here, I think, next week.
Yeah, pretty excited. Midweek next week, heading out to New Ulm, Minnesota, which is about 2 hours southwest of the Twin Cities, for a AGCO field day out there. But the big hook for me, at least anyway, is the Precision Planning, who they just closed that deal at InfoAg, the AGCO Precision Planning kind of merger. And this will be the first time, at least for us, to see the two companies kind of interacting in the field, see the white planters with the speed tube on them and all that. So very cool agronomic stuff if that's that's kind of what you're into.
Absolutely, and it's a chance to visit with the folks at Ziegler Cat, which is a terrific dealership group, find out what they're doing in technology and just get a sense for overall for what they're doing. And then at the end of the month, we'll be hitting not only Farm Progress, but also our own event, the Precision Ag Innovation Series meeting on August 28th. If you want more information on that, it's precisionaginnovation.com, and the full agenda's up, and we're really excited about the program. It's something worth taking a look at. That's it for this edition of Retail Week, and we may be back to our lineup next week, depending on whether we get Eric back from Vegas or not. We're hoping.
Happy to be here for stand-in.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Thank you to this week's video sponsor, Nutrisphere N Fertilizer Manager from Verdesian Life Sciences.